Okay. All right. Yeah. Welcome on in. NYMD Podcast. Kevin Hurt, Brian Sherrard. It is 13 degrees outside. So you got to move to get warm. So let's go. Woo! Throw them bows.
How's that feel, man?
Hope everybody's staying warm today because you need to. Okay.
Yeah.
NYMD Podcast here on StreamYard and YouTube. Subscribe and like, and leave a little message if you'd like. We appreciate it. We are also on Facebook, IG, and Twitter.
Yeah.
And believe you me, brother, it was all over the Twitter last NFL game day.
Yeah.
Believe you me.
Yeah. So you were pretty happy last week. You had a
Hold on. We're also
okay.
I know we're raring to go, but we're also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you find podcasts, you will find the NYMD Podcast. Yes, I don't think the word happy best describes my feeling. It was like euphoria. It was almost like rebirth. It was like this, I don't know, feeling of just excitement, of enticement, of it was just I can't. It's hard to put in a bottle. It's just so you can't contain something like that. I almost felt like you watched wrestling as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So you remember the Ultimate Warrior?
Of course.
When he used to come out and start talking, none of it ever made sense. As a kid, you're just like, he just had so much energy. Because he'd just be like, the moon and the stars of the little warriors out there.
Right.
And the celestial gods come down. And they will. That's how I just felt like all this, the moons aligned. Jupiter was with Saturn and, Neptune. And, and just Pluto even came back and decided to show its face. I was just, it just seemed like everything. Halley's Comet was in the sky. Everything was just perfect.
Okay. Well, for those of you out there that may not know what Hurt is referring to, and we'll delve into in a couple minutes, the Cowboys lost. The Cowboys lost.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. I was talking about the Cowboys lost.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what's crazy, yo? So you love your Washington football team. You love your Arsenal. You love Arsenal. But yo, you get more excited about a Dallas playoff loss than a Washington football team or Arsenal win.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like I've never seen you this excited.
I'm always this excited come if they make the playoffs. I'm confused. All right, real quick. So 49ers, Cowboys, they played on Sunday. I know we reviewed the Saturday games last Sunday with the Bills over the Patriots and the Bengals beating the Raiders.
Right.
So we had 3 games this Sunday: Eagles, Bucks, 49ers, Cowboys, Chiefs, Steelers. There's really only one game that was interesting in all of those.
You are correct, actually.
And we did have as Brian hates, the Monday night game, which he finally deduced is really not that bad.
Yeah.
When it comes to scheduling. So that's a good thing. And also not a game either. So we only had
and we will get into that.
Yeah. So we only had the whole weekend out of 6 games. We had 2 games. Really. Everything else was a blowout.
Yep.
But listen, I could spend about honestly 2 minutes on the Bucks Eagles. I could spend. We have to spend more time on the Chiefs Steelers due to the, maybe pending retirement of said, future Hall of Famer guy. But listen, but this is the true meaning of dislike, disdain. You root. It really is the enemy, and my enemy is my friend. You know what I mean? It really is. You tell me the worst case scenario to me, of course, would be a Ravens Cowboys Super Bowl. That's the worst case scenario for me. Because there's no team I really dislike in AFC that much. Because it's the AFC over, so it would just I would have to deal with both because both fan bases don't like my team, right?
So would it be? What would hurt you the most? The Ravens going to the Super Bowl, or the Ravens, or you rooting for the Ravens? What hurts worse? What hurts more? Because you would have to root for the Ravens in that scenario.
No, there's absolutely 1,000% chance of me rooting for the Ravens. There's no, there is no other choice. Right. That's why I like when Dallas is in a game, there is no other choice. Like, I don't think people understand that. Now, although in football scenarios happen where Dallas could beat Philly in order for Washington to get in, one of those, whatever. I'm rooting for the Eagles to lose. I'm not rooting for Dallas to win. The words rooting for Dallas to win would never come out of my mouth. Period. Ever. Just not going to happen. But no, there's no – the Ravens going to the Super Bowl doesn't really bother me, honestly.
Yeah.
You
lived through that twice.
Yeah. I went through that, and I think they played the Giants and won, and I'm not a Giants fan, so that was real early though. So that was more like, all right, I didn't know the disdain of the fan base that you are a part of for my team. Then. So that was like, oh, please beat the Giants. I don't want the Giants having another Super Bowl, passing us at the time, which they didn't do, what you guys won. The second one, though, against the 49ers, I was so for the 49ers. Wanted the 49ers to win. It was the Harbaugh brothers, and, we all know what happened there. But I can't root. It's just like Stephen A. came back from TV. He's also he disdains Dallas just as not as I don't think as much as no one. To me, no one in my life disdains Dallas more than me. I'm just every season this happens that they do well, and they already put them in the NFC Championship. And I just never understand. This is the only team that never has to prove anything for you to put them in the Super Bowl. You're not looking to – no one's looking for the next breakout team. You know what I'm saying? They're already just, Dallas is 10-6. Let's put them in the Super Bowl. Don't they have to win a playoff game first? Don't they have – let them – there's – no matter what anybody says, there's steps to these things in most cases. You get to the playoffs. You continue to get to the playoffs. You succeed in the playoffs. When those steps don't happen, you can't just go make the playoff Super Bowl. It doesn't happen. It's rare when you have a team that just, not the number one seed, whatever, but just comes out and does something like that. It's a very rare thing. So I don't know. Every season, though, they have to talk about, my, of course, biggest Uber fan, Michael Irvin. And this is the only time, honestly, though, this is the only game that I was tired of Tony Romo because he couldn't help rooting for the Cowboys. Even though he tried to change his dialogue. I mean, he's not as bad as Moose Johnson is. But it was still just like, they're going to go down and get a first down, and they're going to move this ball. But the 49ers can't stop them. You know what I mean? Like, he tried to sound neutral, even though we all know he wasn't. Which I don't believe.
That's one thing I like about Troy Aikman. You wouldn't, if you didn't know who he was, you wouldn't have known he was a Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Cowboys. You really wouldn't. You wouldn't. No, come on, dude. When you listen to him broadcast Dallas games, you wouldn't know. I don't hear any bias. With Tony, I hear a little hear a little too much excitement to the point where I had to turn the broadcast away from Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. I went to the Nickelodeon cast, which was great.
Which was awesome.
Which was awesome.
It was awesome. And like somebody said, I hope the Nickelodeon broadcast taught the proper rules of how to play football to the kids who were watching it.
Yeah. Well, let's just delve into this game a little bit because, like you said, this was the best game of the weekend. I think this was both of ours most. Well, no. This was your most anticipated game. Mine was the Cardinal Rams game.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about this one. This was the closest game. I'll just put this out there right now. This is the only game that I watched in its entirety. Okay.
Dude. Yes.
Yeah.
1,000%. Didn't turn away at one time.
Yeah. But this was a really really good game, man. San Fran, they came to play, and what did I tell you was my biggest concern about San Francisco? Garoppolo, and he played well. He played very well, except for a very very ill-advised interception in the third quarter. That was bad.
My mind.
Yeah,
he was 16 out of 25, 172 yards, no touchdowns, one interception. Like I say, he's very efficient for the game. I mean, the team rushed for 169 yards. So Debo's a beast.
Yo, that guy, man.
Yeah, that dude is just a beast. But
yeah, he's not a receiver. He's not a running back. He's just a weapon, yo.
Yeah,
he's just a weapon. That's what he is. And it seems like no matter what position you put him in, he thrives. He gets positive yards. He gives you production. That dude is amazing.
So, yeah, but no, go ahead with the breakdown.
No, but I was just my biggest concern was Jimmy Garoppolo, but he played efficiently, but he also I felt like he had command of the pocket. You know what I mean? Like I said, except for that ill-advised interception, I thought he played well. The running game was also very, very good. I thought it was a well-coached and called game by Shanahan. So props to the 49ers, man. I'm just
your boy Shanahan.
Yeah.
So are you saying your boy Shanahan outcoached Mike McCarthy?
If I'm Jerry, honestly, you're bringing this up, coaches. I'm getting rid of McCarthy, yo. He is not. No, I know you want to keep him. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know he's a great coach.
I'm still mad that they got rid of Joe Judge. So and the Giants. So I want McCarthy. I need McCarthy there.
I know you.
It's not like I want him. I need him there. It's more of a need than anything else. To be honest with you, it's a need. I need him to be there.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go as far as to say he's a detriment to the team, but he's not taking that team to the next
There's
level.
really one detriment to that team, to be honest with
you. Yeah.
The only really one.
Jared?
Yeah. That's it. He can't get out of his own way.
Yeah.
You know, like I was talking to somebody, I forgot who it was, but you know, we're going through these myriad of coaching changes that we talked about last week. And ever since Jimmy Johnson left, they haven't been the same team. But that's because one person can't get out of his own way. He needs to be the star. Like he is the Vince McMahon in the NFL. That's who I equate him to.
Yeah.
And he's not going to hire a coach. I mean, yes, he did hire Bill Parcells for that couple of years. But besides Bill Parcells, he's hired people who are yes people to him. And he's the GM too. So he needs to outshine until he gets out of the way. They're not going to succeed. So now I believe he said they're going to review all the coaching, and he's a little bit tired. You need to review yourself. Period. But again, I'm fine with this. Let's let it stay this way. I have no issues. This was a good game. For 49ers really had it in lock to me. They really dominated this game for the most part of this game until the end, especially the fourth quarter where Dallas scored 10 points. So that was the only part that I was worried toward the end when they started kind of coming back, and then the quarterback sneak of doom occurred. But my whole thing too is when I watched that game, there was definitely a big invisible person during that game. You know what his name was?
Ezekiel
Elliott. And I'm not even going to go on Dak for his 23 or 43 passing percentage, which at one point he was like under 5. It was like 19. It was like 23 for 43 is bad. It means you missed 20 throws. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's not a good QB rating was 69, but 0.3. I mean, the punter had a good, and if it wasn't for that punter throwing that pass, they would not have moved the ball on that. They would have been over a long time ago. Right. So that was good. That was a good chance on them. Tyler Kellen Moore all of a sudden being a head coaching candidate. And I know I'm getting away from the game. It's just Ezekiel Elliott, 12 carries, 31 yards. Where's big game Zeke? Where's Zeke at?
What were Tony Pollard's stats?
4 rushes, 14 yards. Put it this way. Well, on that last play, Dak almost outrushed Zeke for the game. All he needed was 4 more yards.
Yeah. It's great.
By the way, the best play of the game.
All right, let's talk about that. Please explain to me what in the heck were they thinking?
I feel like I need to do this in my Ronald Reagan voice. And just do like, really? I don't recall. Like, just forget the whole thing ever happened. You have no timeouts. It's 14 seconds, not 24, not 34, not 44. You're in your own territory. Everybody took a screenshot of Skip Bayless. Why wasn't the referee in position? He should have been there. We could have had one more shot at the end zone. And Why call the play anyway? They weren't that far away from the end zone to begin with. And actually, the crazy thing was, if they threw the ball, they probably would have more time to set up because the guy could have caught it, fell down, and you go down there and spike it, or you're ready to do whatever. But due to the quarterback running and that field judge following you, you got to go all the way up there. And then, Nick, you can't reset your own ball. Duh. It was a bad. It just, to me, it was a Mike McCarthyism.
Yeah.
It was a bad call. It was bad. It was bad. Period.
Yeah, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me, man. And then, as they're, trying to set up for one final play, the center for Dallas thinks he can spot the ball himself.
And he had to wait for the back judge to run up there. And that dude was running as fast as he could possibly run to set the ball to get it going. But the play call was the wrong call.
No.
You can't. I'm not focused on the referees in this game. It wasn't like that one game that the refs were horrible. I forgot what game was that.
That was the Cincinnati game.
Yeah. The referees weren't horrible in this game. Dallas was penalized all the time. I forgot how many freaking penalties they had. They were a very undisciplined team. They're offsides a couple of times, a lot of holding calls. I mean, they were just all over the place. They were all over the place the whole game. And this is what happens when you don't have the right leadership on the team, as far as head coaching wise.
Yep.
And that's it. But I'm like I said, I don't know. I was, and of course, after the game was over, Dak, who apologized now, was, because they were the fans were throwing trash at the referees. You need to throw it at your team. They're the one. No, matter of fact, I'm sorry. I beg. You need to throw it at yourself for believing in this team. You need to look in the mirror and understand who you are as a human being and who this team really is. Why would you? It's like me believing Washington's going to win something. That would be my fault, right? Like, there would be something wrong with me. Or like Washington would pick a name I'm going to like. It surprised me, but I ain't got good expectations coming up. I'm a realist. Dallas fans are not realists at all. None of them. So when Dak went back there and was like, oh, they weren't throwing garbage at us, they're throwing at the referees. Okay, good. Then he got fined for it, and he apologized later on. But that's you're mad at the referees because you ran 17 yards. Maybe you should have ran 13 yards and stopped. Maybe you should have ran 10 yards and stopped. Did you think about that? Maybe you should have got down sooner. Maybe the clock should have been ticking in your head.
Well, Hurt, I hate to inform you, but Jerry has not endorsed McCarthy so far. So who knows, man? Let's hope we do get an endorsement. But so far he has not. So who knows what Jerry's gonna do? But if I'm Jerry, I'm getting rid of that dude.
They never should. When they hired him, I was like, this guy. And again, I'm not a billionaire, totally not. I wish. And maybe if I was a billionaire, like my owner, maybe there's a part of me that thinks I know more than everybody else. And I know Jerry Jones is a businessman. He actually played football in college, University of Arkansas. He's a smart guy. But sometimes being smart is getting out of your own way and letting people handle it. You know who does that? Your owner. You know who does that? The Rooneys. That's who do things like that. I'm getting out of the way. I'm going to get a GM. Trust you guys. Boom. Hey, have fun. Holla at your boy. Bring me some winning seasons and hopefully some chips. And stability and no craziness. Then, but no, you don't see Bisciotti being GM. You don't see Rooney being GM of their teams. No, he thinks he knows. He thinks he has player development. You're not. That's not what you do. And this team will always fail because of it. And again, I'm perfectly fine. Okay. But you hire McCarthy for what? No one. Think about it. After he was let go from Green Bay, how many head coaching jobs was McCarthy really linked to? 0. I mean, he may have gone on some interviews, but his name was not hot ever again. And then Dallas hired him. I'm like, okay. I was like, well, and I was happy. So no, please give him one more season. Or do what you really want to do, Jerry. Keep Kellen Moore and elevate him to head coach. Please.
Oh, man.
I was like, Roger, please. I know that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. And I will solely support it. Boise State and all, I will support Kellen Moore being head coach of that team.
Okay. All right, man. We spent a lot of time on this game. We got to move on to these other games because we still have.
I don't care about those other games. Dallas sucks. You're where you belong. And all season I've been saying this. All season I'm sick and tired of this one fan base, this one team. Oh, look. I remember during the season they beat, Carolina. Remember when they beat Carolina? Oh, my God. They're like hot knife through butter. Oh, I'm sorry, doing my Michael Liver. They're like a hot knife. You got to go. They're going to. Where are they now? With us. Probably doing a podcast, watching the show. All right, what's the next game?
Well, let's sick of it. I love to see you get worked up about
every season we go through this. Can't let them win a playoff game for freaking sakes. Let them win something. They want to put them in a suit. It's Chiefs, Cowboys. In whose world, doofus? Whose world, whose universe are they ever in a freaking Super Bowl since 1902? Oh, they won. They beat an undefeated Carolina team. Oh, that was a big win. Everybody's getting mad at me. Oh, how come they're a good team? In what world was Carolina a good team? They got lucky. So what? Please stop it. Just, man. So the next game on the schedule.
All right, let's start with the first game, the first Sunday game. Eagles Buccaneers, man.
Wait, first of all, you said game and you're wrong. That's number one. It'll be like a contest. I don't even know it was a contest. 2 teams showed up, 1 team played. So,
yeah.
Honestly, like you said, I didn't even watch this game.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, but it was so immemorable. I mean, it was a blowout. The Eagles didn't score until the fourth quarter. I mean, it was just they dominated the game. It was boring. Brady was Brady, and Jalen Hurts was Jalen Hurts as far as I'm concerned. So
Mike Evans was Mike Evans.
yeah.
I mean, that dude had a good game. Dallas Goedert did have a good game for Philadelphia. This was just a beatdown from the beginning.
Yeah.
And, Tom Brady, 27-37, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 271 yards. They had Keyshawn Vaughn, whom I have no idea who that guy is, but he rushed for 53 yards, more than Zeke, by the way. Giovanni Bernard had 13 carries for 44 yards, more than Zeke, by the way. And Philadelphia had no rushing attack. They had nothing. Yeah. Really, I know Jalen Hurts did have 1 touchdown that came later, as you said, and 2 interceptions. It was a team that wasn't ready against a team that's been here before.
Yeah, and those interceptions weren't good. I mean, one of the interceptions, he tried to hit a man in the end zone, and I mean, it was a nice play by the Tampa defender, but I thought it was an ill-advised throw.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jaden. I'll do this. I'll give the Eagles and Jalen Hurts a lot of credit this season. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to have a winning record. They had a new, have a brand new coach. And he seemed like a little bit of a joke in the offseason. And I was like, I don't know about this guy, but hey, they made it. Jalen Hurts did make strides this season. And the one thing I do like about Jalen Hurts is no matter where he's been, he seemed to improve. So take this hopefully this season is a stepping stone for, is a learning season, and he'll get better and improve. We'll see. I think it does remain to be seen if he is the answer. If he is if he's their franchise quarterback, but he took steps this year. So I do give the Eagles credit in that, but yeah, this game was just total blowout.
It wasn't even close. But when you look at the Eagles' schedule, like, they lost to really good teams. The only bad loss they had was against the Giants. But, okay. I mean, they lost to the 49ers. They lost to the Chiefs, Buccaneers earlier in the season, which was a closer game. Raiders, Chargers. They only lost to 2 non-playoff teams. So they did have a good run, and they deserve to be there. They just didn't deserve to be on that field against the Bucs.
No. All right, man. We talked about the middle game. Now the night game. Sunday night football at Gayha Field, Arrowhead Stadium.
GHA.
Yeah, I don't even know how you.
It's GA. It's an insurance. I know you don't know about insurance. But yeah, it's
really.
And it's a GEHA is an insurance. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is another game. This is probably the game, honestly, I watched the least of. I think I only watched.
Really, you watched more of the Tampa game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I only watched the first 2 drives of this game, or maybe like the first quarter. I think all I watched was the first quarter. I mean, I knew the Chiefs were going to win. I just did not feel like watching this game.
Well, the thing is, the first quarter was 0-0, so you really felt like, okay, maybe there's something that's going to. I mean, a little bit. I mean, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like it's almost felt like it's one of the type of games where one team's doing better, they just haven't capitalized on it. But it'd be some play where like a punt return could be a touchdown for the other team. You're like, what's about to happen? You know what I mean? That wasn't the case.
Yeah. I mean, look, Pittsburgh's defense gave Steelers fans a glimpse of hope in that first quarter, but it was inevitable, man. I mean, and it was a blowout, 42-21, Ben's last game. You know why I probably didn't watch this game either? Because I got triggered a little bit as I started watching the game. I was like, this should have been the Ravens. This was the game that the Ravens were going to be in. Granted, the Ravens had no chance of beating the Chiefs, but as I started watching that game, I was like, man, this was supposed to be Chiefs Ravens part 2, but it didn't happen. So, and plus Pittsburgh just sucks. So I just I'm not watching this. So, but yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, the Chiefs did what they did, what was expected. It was a blowout. This was another game we both predicted. all of our predictions were good. I think you made all the correct predictions for these games. I was wrong with the Cowboys and the last game we're going to talk about. But not much. I don't think there's much to be said about this. I think everybody expected this.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes was Mahomes. 30 or 39, 404 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Did have an interception.
And guess what? Guess what? They didn't have Edwards-Helaire. Did it matter?
No. I mean, you got Mahomes. I mean, but their rushing game, they only rushed for 106 yards. So it's not like they did a lot there. But they didn't need to when you were winning 21-7 at halftime.
Exactly.
Going from there. So now, could that hurt him later on? And if he's not there and they don't have a good rushing attack? Of course.
No, it's not.
No, it can. It can hurt them.
Not gonna hurt
them. It depends on who you face and what the and the matchups are, which we'll get into. But okay. I mean, they're not really facing anybody with great defenses, but they can face somebody that can take the ball away from them, and that's where when we talk about that in a little bit. But it was we knew this game was going to happen. Like you said, it was definitely Thanos. It was inevitable.
Yeah.
And Kansas City was Kansas City. Now, how is Eric Bieniemy looking now? Because for some reason, because they supposedly struggled during the season to 12-5. They struggled to 12-5. That he's not as a big head coaching candidate. But Kellen Moore is looking hot. Just stop it. Stop it. Just. So the Monday night game.
Yes.
Which I watched because I watched the Manning cast, brother.
Yes.
Which, again, is a revelation. I enjoy every minute. No matter, it is so funny how dry Eli is. I mean, the dude is like a plain cracker. It's just with no salt on it. And it's like you're just, it has no taste. This is just, I need to add some jelly. Peyton comes with the flavor. He's like that Ritz cracker. It's like, oh man, this is pretty damn good. Peyton has the jokes. The only thing I swear Eli talks about is how big Peyton's head is. Like, oh, a helmet didn't fit. Oh, that's funny. That's surprising. That's it.
But the cool thing about them is their chemistry, of course, because they're siblings. And they complement each other so well. You know what I mean? Peyton may have a little bit, and I don't really think it's that much, but he has a little bit more, like you said, flavor. But Eli is the perfect compliment to him because he kind of picks up on some things that maybe, I shouldn't say pick up on some things, but he can kind of comment in a certain way that Peyton won't. You know what I mean? It's like they complement each other so well, man.
But I think he picks up things about Peyton that we don't know about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he'll be like, "Yeah, I know you over there snacking," and you see Peyton over there just trying to hide and eat it. They always somehow get him, and Eli will always make fun of him, which is just so weird because we know Peyton is having the personality. Yeah. Like he's just, it's just because when you watch it, it's just Peyton dominates it because he's more outgoing, and Eli's like, oh hey, thanks, Rock.
But Eli holds his own though.
No, he does because think about who he's related to.
Right.
So like Cooper, like when they had that game show, I didn't know Cooper had that much personality.
Yeah.
So I give it to him, man. But yeah, it was way more entertaining to watch them than watch the game.
Yeah, the guests were way more entertaining than the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had The Rock was on there.
Yeah, we had Larry Fitz on there.
Yeah, Russell.
Okay, I missed that. He must have been in the second half.
He was in the fourth quarter. So.
Oh yeah, I missed that.
So,
but yeah, man, it was let's talk about the game itself. I only watched the first half because the Rams were dominating, and I was 1 of 1, man. I was so disappointed in 1 of 1, and of course, I'm referring to Kyler Murray. That performance stunk.
Oh, he was terrible.
He was terrible. And what really pissed me off is the pick 6 that he threw that should not have been thrown.
Dude, that play, when you're about to get sacked in the end zone, just get sacked in the end zone.
Just go down, man.
Just get two. Two's way better than 7.
Right.
So 2's way better. I was like, and you saw the Mannings, right? When that play happened, they're like, No. I mean, I was like, you're in the end zone. You flip the ball up. Pick six. I was like, you know what? That's it. Like, they're not coming back from that.
Yeah.
He was 19-34, 137 yards, 2 interceptions, 40 quarterback rating. On the other side, Mr.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You surprised me because we talked about this the next day, and you brought up a stat that I couldn't believe. I think you said in the third quarter at one point, he was one of.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm sorry. How could I forget?
Yeah, what was that stat?
So Odell Beckham in the third quarter had a 40-yard pass, and they were showing the stats. And at that time, in the third quarter, Kyler Murray had 34 yards passing. So, and this is on multiple attempts, aren't you? Not like it was because he was 19-34. So Odell had more passing yards in the beginning of the third quarter, first couple minutes of the third quarter, than Kyler Murray had up until that point. So I was looking at that, I was like, wait, what? What? Dude. And he only got 100 after that, basically. But they you want to talk about struggling. He struggled. Again, they had a good season. Everybody expected them to be in the playoffs. This could be a good building block for them. But I knew, the Rams fans showed up this time. They were there. They were loud. They were behind their team. A lot of celebrities were there. And also, I'm glad Buda Baker's feeling better. I know he got knocked out trying to tackle Cam Akers, which that happened to a lot of people in college. I'm telling you. Yeah. But I'm glad Buda Baker's doing fine. I think he's actually out of the hospital now.
That's good.
Yeah,
well,
it's scary.
Well, I would like to formally congratulate a person that I have ished on this podcast since its inception. That would be number 9.
Talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. Inception.
We are talking about Matt Stafford, Matthew Bryant Stafford. I don't know what his name is.
I know. I was like, wait, is that?
No, Matthew Stafford, I have piled on, like I said, since the beginning of this podcast. I'm not a fan. I think he's overrated. I think he's a good quarterback. I just think he's overrated. But I got to admit, he was poised. He made throws. He had command of the pocket. He was pretty much playing pitch and catch because he had great protection. But at the end of the day, he won. So he won his first playoff game. He's 1-3. And we'll see how this playoff win propels him moving forward. But congratulations, Matt Stafford. You earned it. You deserve it. I'll give you your props.
Yeah, I mean, good. And the funny thing about this weekend too is a lot of division rivals were playing each other. The Bills played the Patriots. We had the Cardinals going against the Rams. A lot of chippiness in this game. I mean, they were really, really going after each other. I mean, you could tell that they don't like each other, and they never will, which makes it interesting. But Matthew Stafford, 13-17, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like you said, but they had a good rushing attack. Sonny Michel rushed for 58 yards on 13 carries. Cam Akers,
man, look great.
Rushed for 17 carries at 55 yards. So, but he just came back. So that's going to even make him more dangerous. But they're going to need all that this weekend. So, But yeah, so good for the Rams. I've been waiting for them to happen. I'm a fan of their coach, Sean McVay. As this weekend, there's 3 former Washington assistants out here having divisional playoff games. So yeah. So that's wonderful. Okay. All right, let's get to these games, brother.
All right, man. So now we have reached the divisional round, the Elite 8, if you will. We have 2 games today. We have 2 games tomorrow. Hurt, let's get this thing started. The first game of the day at 4:30 on CBS. We have the Hoodats versus the Tennessee Titans. The Hoodays versus Cincinnati Bengals versus the Tennessee Titans. I had Cincinnati winning last week. You had Cincinnati winning. Hurt, how do you see this one going?
Well, I already know who you're picking.
Right.
So there's a juggernaut in this game. Who's coming back just for this game? And man, I know Tennessee's like, thank goodness we don't have to rely on Tannehill. Okay. So I don't know how healthy he is, but the fact that he's back is a big thing. It's gonna be 36 degrees down there in Nashville, which would be 23 degrees warmer than what it is here. It's weird. I know trying to stop Henry is tough. It's just this weird feeling that Cincinnati has this momentum and believability going on. So and just for this game, I really feel like I'm picking Cincinnati.
Okay. Well, you know where I'm going with this one. I am also picking Cincinnati. As I've stated before, they are my Super Bowl pick. Look, Derrick Henry's coming back. He hasn't played in a while. He hasn't had any contact. I'm sure the Titans are going to want to be careful with him. But it's still a big boost, and he's still someone you have to account for. I mean, we saw Cam Akers and how he looked in his return. He looked good. So
no, they have to go all out. This is their best chance, to me, of maybe making a Super Bowl with this team that they have. Because everybody, and to me, especially in the AFC, any of these teams can beat each other. I really believe that. I think it's that way because it's been that way during the whole season. So any of these teams can beat each other, and they have. So Tennessee needs to go all out. They, if you need to run them 100, not 100 times, obviously, but if you need to run them 30 times, you run them 30 times. You need to win the game. It is what it is, and I know Derrick Henry knows that as well. But this is win it season. This isn't we need to take it easy. So, but Cincinnati, I feel like has a little bit. They have a better quarterback. I just believe in the quarterback more, and I don't think Joe Burrow has any kind of fear.
Okay.
So I'm
all right. Tennessee is actually a 3.5-point favorite. I think most of that is just because they're home, but I really like the Bengals in this game. Derrick Henry can be stopped in the playoffs. The Ravens did it last year. He can be stopped. He's coming off injury, but I just like, the weather is not going to be a factor. I just like the Bengals in this one. All right, let's move on to the night game at 8:15 on Fox. We have the San Francisco 49ers against Discount Double Check in the literal frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Yes. Now, this game will be the same temperature as it is now. So weather will be a factor in a way. These two teams are very familiar in this setting, in this game. The two coaches coach together in Washington. They're also familiar with each other. That being said, I think the universe needs to know who I'm picking, and this is their best chance to go to a Super Bowl. They need to win this game at home. I know Joey, one of the bosses, I get their Nick or Joey, I think it's Joey, who left the game against Dallas for head injury, is healthy and active when we play this game.
I think it's actually Nick Bosa.
Okay, Nick, thank you. So he's healthy, so he's going to be playing this game. That's going to help 49ers defense. This has to be Aaron Rodgers' year. I'm picking Green Bay.
Hurt? I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, you pretty much said everything I was going to say. I'm picking Green Bay. They're at home. They're undefeated at home this year. This year is their best shot. They're getting healthy at the right time. They're at home. They're on their turf. They're frozen turf. Now
it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Now, 49ers, I mean, they beat the Packers a couple of years ago in the
same place.
Yeah, at Lambeau.
Or was it there? Or was it either way? I know.
No, it was at Lambeau. It was at Lambeau. Okay. Maybe it wasn't, but I'm thinking, maybe it was.
Either way, I know that Garoppolo didn't have to pass the ball.
Yeah, I just know they ran up and down the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're not gonna. I just say that to say they're not gonna be intimidated. But I still like the Packers in this game, and yeah. So we agree on both games so far.
Yes. All right. So Sunday, we have the 3:00 game. The LA Rams traveling over to play Tampa Bay, brother. Sean McVay facing off against Bruce Arians. Who you got?
Wow, Tampa is a 2.5-point favorite. I actually like the Rams this game, man. This is tough though, but I think the Rams had some momentum. I think their first game, last week's performance is going to be a boost for them. I think it's going to, not that they need confidence, but I think that it's going to give them a lot of confidence. The thing I really like about the Rams is their defense, man. I mean, first of all, you can't throw the Jalen Ramsey side of the field, man. Just forget about it. Like, that dude just locked down right now. And remember, they shut down Kyler Murray. Now, granted, that was a divisional game, so they've had,
that's their third time facing them too.
Right. So I give you that, but this game's gonna be close. Tom Brady on his home turf, he's gonna be tough to beat. But for whatever reason, I'm going to pick the Rams here, Hurt.
Okay. Well, the first time they met was a 34-24 win for the Rams. Both quarterbacks balled out. Tom Brady threw for 432 yards, only one touchdown now. Stafford had 343 with 4 touchdowns. So that was, and Tom Brady was the leading rusher for. Whoa, what? Did I just see that right? It was the leading rusher for Tampa Bay. I don't know where Leonard Fournette was, but yeah, Tom Brady had 3 rushes for 14 yards and led the team. So,
wow,
yeah, that's a little weird, but yeah, that was Mike. Of course, that's when they had Mike Evans. They had Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin was out. Rob Gronkowski's still there. Mike Evans is healthy. So, again, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods didn't even have a big game, and we all know he's out. They have OBJ. I'm going to pick the Rams. I know quarterback-wise, I feel like Stafford has confidence that he needs to go in there and win this game. I feel like the defense, and we've seen defenses stop Tampa Bay all season. So if they go in there, they can stop the run and quiet Mike Evans. Of course, Tom Brady's smart enough to try to make plays somehow. I just think the Rams defense is going to be too much.
Okay.
So
I like this, man. We're in agreement on every pick.
They're 2.5-point favorites right now. And of course, we all know it will be 60 degrees in Tampa. Don't need to be reminded of that. Yeah. So the Sunday evening game, Buffalo at KC. Who you got?
I think this is going to be a good game, man. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. But at the end of the day, Pat Mahomes is home. Team's fairly healthy. I don't think Edwards-Helaire is a factor. So I like the Bills. I don't quite think they're ready to beat Mahomes at home. So I'm sticking with the Chiefs, man.
Gotcha. All right. So the Bills and Chiefs played earlier this season. The Bills won 38-20. And Mahomes was at Mahomes at that time. So they've been there, done that. They beat Mahomes in Mahomes' home. So, no, they're not afraid. No, they've done it before, and they'll do it again. So I'm picking the Buffalo Bills because I cannot agree with you on 4 games. Gotta pick. I won't pick it on this game, and I'm picking the Buffalo Bills too. And by the way, in this game, if I look correctly, I think, as crazy as it sounds, and my computer is being slow as I don't know what. This game, they have the Chiefs as a 1.5-point favorite at home. So that's telling me something.
You're right.
So I'm picking the Bills.
Wow. I didn't, you know what? I didn't see that. Wow. That does say a lot. It does say a lot. Okay. All right, man. What this has been fun, breaking down these games, man. Playoff football is always great. And I think today's game is actually the better slate of games. So I'm really
Oh
looking
yeah.
forward to those.
Oh yeah. And you know what too? About these games that are really cool?
What's that?
No Dallas. My bad.
You are
Dallas
correct.
free.
You are correct.
So, but yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in for this part. We have an exciting new edition coming up as our entertainment podcast, which we're going to make a separate podcast for us because we love our amazing races and we love our survivors. We love our Marvel movies. Well, I love the Marvel movies. Brian loves some Marvel movies. But he'll go to the movies to see movies. So I'll give that to him. That dude's been more movies in the past year than I have in the past 5. So, but yeah, so we're going to have that coming up right after this broadcast. But thank you everybody for tuning in here, StreamYard, YouTube. Please subscribe and like. Of course, we're on Facebook, IG, Twitter. Twitter's going to be very active today, going through all the games, as you know. A little less than last week because more Dallas-centric, so I apologize for that. But, this hat rolls. But, I gotta go out there and see what A-Rod is going to do. Still, A-Rod is still at 50-50. 50-50. And, of course, you can follow us on the Spreaker and Stitcher apps, on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find us, the NYMD Podcast. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back soon, and stay warm.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah, no Dallas.